Let's talk about mother-son codependency and enmeshment, often referred to as a mama's boy. What does codependency look like in a mama's boy? Hi, I'm Coach Kathleen. If you've ever wondered why some men seem unable to stand up to their mothers, even when it damages their marriage or romantic relationships, the answer may be codependency and family enmeshment. Family enmeshment is an unhealthy family dynamic where personal boundaries are blurred, individuality is discouraged, and family members become overly responsible for one another's emotions, needs, and choices. Instead of developing a healthy sense of self, family members become emotionally fused together. This often lays the foundation for codependency. When enmeshment develops between a mother and her son, it can create what many people refer to as a mama's boy. While the phrase is often used jokingly, the underlying dynamic is anything but funny. It can be deeply dysfunctional and unhealthy and affect every future relationship the son has. So how does this happen? There are two common situations that can contribute to this dynamic. First, the father is physically absent. He may have died, left the family, or be unable to fulfill his role because of illness or addiction. So the mother loses her primary male companion and begins turning to her son to fill that emotional void. Second, the father or partner is emotionally unavailable. Perhaps he never formed a close emotional bond with her or was unable to meet her emotional needs. There just was never an emotional connection made. Often this pattern goes back even further. She may have grown up with an absent, emotionally unavailable, or emotionally unsafe father. And as a result, she spends much of her life longing for and trying to find the emotional connection she never received. Without realizing it, she begins looking to her son to meet needs that should never be placed on a child. She may seek emotional comfort, companionship, validation, or even treat him as the man of the house. The son gradually becomes his mother's emotional partner instead of simply her child. This creates an unhealthy attachment with blurred boundaries. And the tragedy is that the son usually doesn't recognize the dysfunction because it has been his normal since childhood. Instead of naturally separating from his parents as he matures and developing his own identity and building his own life, he remains emotionally tied to his mother. Her needs come before his own, and eventually before the needs of his future partner or children. Whenever he tries to create healthy independence, he may be met with tears, guilt, anger, or emotional manipulation. Boundaries are interpreted as rejection or disrespect. Love becomes defined as always saying yes, and loyalty becomes sacrificing your own needs to keep your mother happy. Years ago, long before I understood enmeshment, my daughter became engaged to a young man. The first time I met his mother, she confidently told me, "My son will never love another woman as much as he loves me. I will always be his first love." That statement made me immediately uncomfortable, although I couldn't really explain why at the time. But as their relationship progressed, she continually inserted herself into their decisions, undermined my daughter, and expected to have the final say in everything. Her fiance always defended his mother. So eventually my daughter ended the engagement. She told me, "I wanted a partner, not a threesome." And that one sentence perfectly describes the experience of being involved with a mama's boy. When an enmeshed man enters a romantic relationship, he often feels trapped between pleasing his partner and pleasing his mother. The anxiety can become overwhelming. He fears disappointing either one, but because he was conditioned from childhood to protect his mother's feelings, he usually defaults to keeping her happy, even when it costs him his relationship. The problem isn't that he loves his mother. The problem is that he was never allowed to become emotionally separate from her. The good news is that healing is possible. Many men eventually recognize these unhealthy patterns and begin establishing healthy boundaries. They still love and respect their mothers, but they no longer sacrifice their own emotional health, their marriage, or future family to maintain the peace. They've learned that healthy love includes boundaries and that becoming an independent adult is not betrayal. If you recognize yourself or someone you love in this description, there is hope. Codependency and family enmeshment can be healed, and healthy relationships can be built. Take the first step today. Take our free 3-minute quiz to discover the patterns keeping you stuck and find your path to healing. Click the link in the description or comments to get started. See you soon.